Warning, spoilies ahead.
Yeah. Put me in the tournament. Yeah. I'm gonna take down Johnny Cage. Yeah.
You sort of you're mixing
yeah.
in some.
I can only go Jesse Ventura. I'm not good at Macho Man, but we could put Jesse Ventura in the
He could do it too.
yeah.
I'm gonna take down Goro. He may have 4 arms, but I've got 2 American pythons.
Hi, welcome to Two Guys, One Film. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Dane. And this week we watched Dirty Dancing, the 1987 film Dirty Dancing. The director Emile
Emil?
Emile
Maybe?
Ardolino.
We're sorry.
Again, it's the same every time.
We're not good at this.
Written by Eleanor Bergstein. Well, that one was nice and easy. Thank you,
Hey,
Eleanor.
thank you for having a
that
name.
And if you're not familiar with this, it's got Patrick Swayze. It's got he's like the
Grey, you know.
yeah, Jennifer Grey. It's got if you know the guy's name, we'll just call him the guy from Jurassic Park. A super young him in it. Wayne Knight.
Oh, Wayne Knight's in it. Yeah, I was like,
He's
and
like
then
the
dad,
director, dude. Oh yeah,
and the dad was like, isn't he on like Law and Order or some fucking
something.
like that?
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
super young in this too.
Yeah, Wayne Knight though.
87. But I mean, we all know why everyone's here. Patrick Swayze. I mean, and this movie
Fucking Swayze.
has got sways for days.
Sways
If you've
for
seen
days. It's got sweaty Swayze. It's got hip swaying Swayze.
Swinging,
like,
pelvic
fucking-
thrusting. Like,
God damn. Like Swayze, like none other, you know.
yeah.
Which I did. I'm a Sven Gulli. Sometimes I like to read the trivia of this and then say the trivia like I know all these things on
Oh, it's
my
cool.
own, like
It's
Sven
cool.
Gulli does. If you don't know what Sven Gulli is, people Google Sven Gulli. He's a really cool dude. But I read a trivia that Patrick was too good at dancing that he had to tone it down, so people wouldn't believe that he's like a because he's
A
not supposed to be like a
professional.
professional dancer. He's supposed to be just like a really high good get in there dancer. So like he had to like tone down his dancing.
Jesus
skills.
Christ.
That's
Okay,
how-
well, I can't imagine like
'cause it's
turned
good.
up to 11, you know?
Yeah, like what did full Swayze dancing look like? Like how? I mean, I know he's good, but how fucking good was he? Where they're like, "Hey, can you tone it down? You're not supposed
you're
to be
like,
that good."
"That's
He's like,
too
"Oh, okay,
good."
yeah." So like, how do you purposely look like you're not doing that good at dancing, but still good at dancing? Like that's how fucking good he is.
That's some good acting.
Rest in peace, Patrick Swayze.
I know. That always bums me out.
Yeah, it's sad, but
Well, okay, quick synopsis. It's a weird summer camp that your whole family
People
goes
dance,
to,
like, and
and
it's
they
like a-
dance, and there's like all these activities, and it's in New York, and there's like a show. There's like shows, kinda, I guess.
it's almost like a summer camp for families instead of
Yeah.
like taking your kid to summer camp, like the Camp Chippewa and like.
But it's okay.
Adams
So
Family Values, you know.
this I had to write down because like I always get like I'm always like weird about the date. I'm like, when does this fucking take place?
Like 60 something?
63.
Okay,
1963. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. Things were a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like here's something fun to
if
do.
I
in
want to
the
say
60s.
like conservative and like kids wanted to do stuff like that. I mean,
I think it's just an easy vacation for families to go take kids to. It's like I don't know, let's go to this thing that they plan all the events for. It's like a cruise. People still do that. They go on a cruise and there's like events playing, there's dancing and
but basically
games.
that's it. And then there's drama in the middle of this. Like there's
It's a late teenage girl with her family, kind of discovering who she wants to be, in this world that she's almost like sheltered in, because like she's such
Like
like
a
a
little
daddy's
bit-
girl and like her dad trusts her completely and she just like It's time for her to like figure out to be herself and grow up. It's a coming of age story, folks.
Yeah.
But and they're like it's only the inner monologue's only at the beginning. It doesn't like end with it either. Like, and that's a summer I'll never forget. Like it was just like it
Yeah.
was the summer of '63, and like I never thought I'd meet any man as good as my dad. I'm like, it's kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah.
And not a seatbelt in sight in that car. You know it's '67 when hey, don't wear a seatbelt. Fuck it.
Nobody
It's
wore a
just this-
seatbelt in '63, and you didn't have to.
Yeah,
was a lot
it's a
safer
sturdy
back then.
fucking car. Like that thing's gonna not crush like tissue paper at all. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, then they get to the resort or hotel or whatever it
Like
is,
the
and
camp.
like
It's like a straight up camp. It's got
Yeah.
like.
and then
yeah,
like, but the owner knows the dad because the dad's a doctor. Is he like supposed to like be
I liked
a
his. I had
sponsor?
to write this down because he goes, "If it wasn't for this man, I'd be standing here dead."
So did he save his life? And he's like, hey, how about free tickets to my
Yeah, but
hotel?
like, who says that? I'd be standing here dead. You wouldn't be standing anywhere dead.
And my son would prop me up on a stick, just like,
Yeah,
here's
I
my
do a
father. He used
Weekend
to be
at
the
Bernie's
owner of
thing.
this place,
his like weird son.
His son that looks like 40 and 13 at the same
Yeah.
time,
Like, hey, I'm gonna be the owner of this place someday. Hey,
I'm a big shot, kinda, but not
Yeah.
really, because I
I'm
don't
a little
own it.
kid, but I also have a haircut of a 40-year-old. And sometimes when I turn my face, it's like, hey, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, young again. Like it's. And boy, howdy, if I was baby, oh, I'd be all over that.
all over that.
He's
Go
kind
to
of
school
like-
to manage hotels.
I don't know if you knew this, but like I'm kind of a big deal around here. I'm like quite a catch. I love when he says that later on. He's like, I'm kind of like the catch of the town, and she's just like, uh-huh.
Cool.
Which is great because like it's a relationship forced upon her parents and that guy's parents. It's almost like
It's-
a medieval kind of a thing of
it's
like
weird.
like a
it's
courting
weird
of like
how,
you
like,
guys will be together.
like whenever he like goes off and is like creepily putting his arms on her and stuff, like how
Mm-hmm.
her dad's like, all right, like
This is a marriage that we're assigning so that we can benefit from this somehow.
dude, it's weird because I've noticed in like movies, and I'm sure that to make the movie go, there wouldn't be anything like this, but it's just like the body language of the person that's like getting taken away by some other person. Like if that was like my daughter, I'd be like, she
No.
doesn't look comfortable going with this guy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like,
and,
like, why don't you take your arm off her
And
partner?
then there's like so many times where he's like, hey, why don't we go take a walk? Or hey, why don't we go do dancing or something like that? And the dad's just like,
Yep, you go with him.
yep. I appreciate that man who is just,
Who's gonna be
creepily-
running hotels?
That's someone I want my daughter to be with. So then, yeah, she's doing the activities. I like the one where they're like first teaching the people how to dance. And of course, you got to show that baby doesn't really have rhythm.
Yeah.
She's like bumping around, awkwardly.
But how could you in that big group of fools?
Yeah, and they're like
That
square
was
dancing in a
crazy.
weird way.
Well,
and,
it's
like-
funny because like a bunch of them are actually not bad at it, and they're just like
Yeah.
getting into it and dancing around, and I'm like,
I wonder if those are people that keep coming back though, because there's always those people. Like Swayze says, there's always those like older ladies that were like using them basically.
there's like
So
one
they always
older
return.
lady that's using
Well, like he was talking about, like there's like those other ones that have like put diamonds in his pocket.
But he
or
goes
stuff
into
like that.
specifics and talks about her specifically when
That's
her
true.
husband comes here and just basically it's just me and her and that
Yeah.
other guy apparently.
Yeah, but yeah, she got to show she's got no rhythm. That way later on, and then she gazes her eyes upon Swayze, who like comes fucking strutting in, sunglasses on,
leather jacket.
jacket, and like he's they're like the entertainment almost, right? They're like
so
instructors.
This
like,
is
at least
this is
he
something
is.
I had to like. Are they pretending to stay there and be just really talented people, like guests that dance around? Or
No, I think they're like
Well,
hired
because-
for it.
well, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
are they hired actors to pretend to be people that stay there?
No,
Because
it's
there's
almost like
the scene where they're in the big group of people and Swayze and what's her name come in and they dance
Yeah.
and then the other guy's like, knock it
Yeah.
off,
like
so
stop,
that's
you're
why
like,
I was
stop
like,
being
oh.
so sexy about it. Stop this
Well, see,
dirty dancing.
he didn't like at that point. It didn't seem like they were dirty dancing. It looked like he was just like knock it off and let everybody dance because they stopped and everyone's like, oh cool, and they all danced.
I think it's-
like he
it
wanted
was-
them to be like more like, hey,
I
Like, you
feel
stay
like
here.
to me that was more like an advertisement of like, because the lady he's dancing with was the instructor for like teaching everybody that line dancing.
Yeah.
So it almost seems like that was an advertisement of like, hey, if you want lessons like these, we have these people that we hired every year to like be the dancing instructors. You
And then
know,
they
and
just
do
get carried
that.
away and like start showing off.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it
like,
doesn't seem like they're
I
showing
mean,
off. It seems like they just enjoyed dancing.
they're just really good at dancing, you know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like tone it down kind of a thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I saw her underwear. Knock it off. But yeah, he's the badass showing up in sunglasses, you know, and that there was a line I wrote down because like the wait staff is better than them. They go to fucking Yale and something, but
Yeah.
ooh, that's impressive. I'm a waiter and I go to Yale, and you know, they was like Swayze was like, yeah, you put your pickle on everyone's plate and leave the hard stuff to me, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
I
fuck
know.
yeah.
I was like, oh, got
Oh.
told.
Fuck you, little kid. Like, because then that kid introduced later and he's like, this is your waiter. He goes to fucking Stanford. It's like, oh, big fucking deal.
Yeah, and he's a
like,
waiter right now, so do your
Yeah.
fucking job, asshole.
Yeah. So you're welcome for having this great waiter, because that's how like he introduces him to the family.
I know.
It's like he went to Yale, and it's like, oh,
Well, and yeah, and
okay.
then he tries creeping on what's her name's sister.
Oh yeah,
baby
baby
sister.
sister. Yeah. Which
Like,
like,
what was that? Like them coming out of the fucking forest, and he's like, oh,
Hey,
well,
come on, love.
yeah, and she's like, not cool. But then she's like later on, like, I think I'm gonna get with him.
well, he seemed like well, spoiler alert, folks. He's that kind of guy that just like creeps on women and like pretty much forces himself to the point where they're like, fine, I'll do it, or he like makes them feel love, like he did with the blonde girl. Like she's like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought he actually loved me. So he's just like that creepy of a dude, which goes to show like just because he goes to Stanford, which I think that makes them more creepy because they're that rich, empowered white kid, you know.
Yeah.
And you got like cool street level Swayze that's like,
The whole scene where I think this was like maybe the scene right before Swayze and what's her name dance, but the scene where the guy is like conducting the orchestra and then tap dances for
and
a
it's
little
like,
while.
yeah, so it's like, did they mic the floor? Because it's so loud, and he's
I
like
know.
barely touching the floor. I was like, oh,
I like
why
how
is
he
it so
grabs the
loud?
other guy and is like the other guy's like, dude.
And they're like both kind of tapping, but it's
Yeah, it was a strange scene. I was just
like that could have been a scene directed by David Lynch, where it's like, okay,
Right.
now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the guy tap dance, but very very lightly and weird, and he's old. That's it. Make sure he's old.
Yeah, like super
that's-
old and like kind of odd. Like he doesn't know where he is. But
Yeah,
like,
but he's,
so for
like,
some reason they got him
smiling,
conducting
like-
the orchestra.
Yeah, like that was definitely a David Lynch scene.
Yeah,
But yeah, like, did they mic the floor? Because
it was.
so
It,
fucking
yeah,
loud, dude. Like,
I'm sitting watching. I'm like,
but then yeah, they bust in. Swayze and his partner fucking cut the dance floor up,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got to mingle with the crowd and teach them. You know, like, hey, if you want lessons, you know, we're gonna be doing this for you
Yeah,
old
so-
people to have fun with. Yeah.
so is that? And then
Baby sneaks out, or she's
Yeah.
done.
after
And
they're
then
done, and
she walks in the like, you know, staff only section. And then the guy that's just like carrying 3 massive fucking
huge
watermelons.
watermelons.
Like, you
He's
didn't
like, you
think
can't
about,
go
like,
in there,
getting
and
a
she's
cart?
like, I'll just take one of these.
He's
No,
like,
I'm helping.
okay, fine.
All right, fine. If you're gonna carry a watermelon,
But that guy ends up being like really cool.
yeah.
And like, you know, like standing up for her and like, no man, it's cool, let's try her out. Or like, hey, this is a brilliant idea. Or like, hey, like he ends up being a really cool dude.
Like I noticed that, yeah, a lot of the time in this movie that like people are, it's not a whole lot of like, God, no, there's no way. Only that
Yeah.
only really comes from Swayze,
Yeah.
and because like everybody else is just like, why can't she do it? I
Yeah.
think she could do it. She
Or,
could
hey,
totally do it.
Yeah,
That's
hey,
a
she
good
can hang
idea.
around. That's cool. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just camp. Who fucking cares? But yeah, she's got these massive fucking watermelons that she's helping carrying in.
And I like,
And that's when she gets exposed to the world of dirty dancing.
yeah, so
and it's just
so
like-
dirty.
Yeah,
They all
and I
dance-
like, yeah, she's just like in this completely different world, and she's just like, oh my God, what's going on? But people dancing like she's never seen before, you know, and they're bumping, grinding, and of course, fucking Swayze kicks like the door in, and then like, I like how instantly they walk in and just suddenly just like fucking start dancing, just like
that was
instantly
the, I guess that
across
was just
this-
like the thing, and
floor,
like
you know?
everybody knows them. They're like, "I'll back up."
Yeah.
backup
Oh,
Swayze's in the
fucking
house.
Johnny's here, or whatever
Yep.
his name is. Like,
John,
fucking he's
Johnny.
here.
It was Johnny Castle.
Johnny Castle. Miss Johnny Castle's here. Step
Castle just
aside. And
walked
then they
in the
just
door.
like, and then they like dance with other people, you know, and
Yeah.
he comes and talks to her, and I just like her. I carried a watermelon.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Like, definitely done like the Chris Farley thing. It was
Yeah.
stupid. Like, after that. I carried a watermelon.
Like you sure did.
I would have, you know, and I would have acted the same had I been in her situation.
Right?
You got this
Swayze
massive
busting in like
presence of
that?
Johnny Castle in front of you, asking what you're doing here. Calls you baby, even though he knows, like, you know, I don't think he knows it's your nickname. It's just
Everybody just calls her that.
yeah. So I think that's why her nickname just ends up being
How
baby.
old
'cause
is she
everyone's just
supposed
like,
to be?
"Baby." I think late teens, like maybe 18, 19, because she's about to go to college, right? 'Cause she's gonna join the Peace Corps or something.
That's right. Yes. Okay. So yeah, she's got to be at least 18.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
But yeah, I mean, I would have been like her too, like, I carried a watermelon.
But yeah, you got friggin' yeah. He comes walking up with that dancer's, but he's all chiseled. What are you doing here?
Fuck yeah.
Flexing,
No,
all sweaty.
It's cool. It's cool. She's with me. This is my cousin Johnny Cage or Johnny Castle. You know, I'm like yeah, the watermelon guy like instantly vouches for her
Yeah.
baby. It's like no, she's cool, man. She's with me.
That's cool.
And then yeah, like that was I like that scene because like he's so against her being there, and then he like comes around to it, brings her on the dance floor, starts teaching her how to dance. You know, she's instantly fallen in love, and then I like
Yeah.
that song ends and he just fucking
Yeah,
bolts.
just like walks off. Well, because like
That's just their
okay,
dance,
so
and
I'm
they
thinking
just
in my
dance.
head like it wasn't like a weird like thing between them. It was
No,
more
you
just
just
hey,
dance.
come and dance because I fucking like
Yeah.
dancing. Like come
Yeah,
dance.
he's like, hey, you want to be around us? Let's dance. This is how we dance. He's like, cool, I'm done. It wasn't like,
yeah.
hey,
Now I'm gonna
what's
go dance
up?
with somebody else. Here we're dancing. This is what we
This
do
is
here.
just fun. Yeah, exactly. But
And it like yeah, it's dirty, but it didn't feel like I don't know, like I guess I can understand like back in the 60s like where the parents, you know, coming off
Yeah.
of like, you know, the 40s and like 50s and like times
that's not
like
how you
that.
dance.
They'd freak out a little bit, but like when I saw I mean, I guess cuz we're used to like that like early
Yeah.
2Ks
Yeah, like
so,
just
like,
grinding and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So,
I was
but I
like,
mean,
that
yeah,
seems
trying to
pretty
get in
normal
that,
to me.
trying to get in that headspace of like nothing she's ever done before, and you know,
Yeah.
you're close to a man's pelvis like this,
Yeah.
and you're bumping and grinding too, and
Yeah.
she gets into it, she starts getting good at it, and then instantly falls in love, and he's just like, peace, I'm out.
Yep. Bye-bye.
The next day, there is a wig show for the ladies because hey, ladies, wear some wigs. That's
Right.
fun to do. And honestly, I would join the wig.
I
show
was like,
'cause
oh,
I
why
love
isn't there
putting on wigs?
like I was like, why isn't there a man in there? Like I'm surprised that there's no dudes like, oh, check it out my
Yeah.
sweet wig.
Because nothing's more fun than just putting on fucking wigs. I do
Right?
it all the time. Folks, I don't know if you noticed, I wear wigs a lot on this show, so I would definitely be signing up for the wig show. I'd be like, oh, cool.
No, I mean, if one given the chance, I will wear a wig.
Yeah.
I'm not against
Wigs are
wigs.
fun. Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah. But then, yeah, once again, that lady is in charge of the wig show. What's her name? Can you look that up? The blonde lady? His partner?
Was she Penny in the movie?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Penny. Oh, yeah, and then they do that little drop of information. Johnny's cousin, he's like, oh, yeah, that's, you know, Penny and Johnny. He's like, you'd think they'd be a couple with the way they're dancing.
She's like,
oh, they're not?
Mhm. Check, please.
Wait, they're not? Yeah. Oh, he's single, is he? Mm. Like, that was a beautiful little like,
Yeah.
drop of that. Like,
Like, oh,
oh, yeah, you'd
nice.
think they'd be a couple. Or I guess they were at one point. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
like when
but
they
they're
were
still friends
younger,
because they've
but-
been like, yeah, they've been friends for fucking ever.
Yeah. So
I like how
he
he
cares
shows
about
up.
her, but that's like it. Like it's
Yeah.
he
He's
takes
very,
care
like-
of her. Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
very brotherly toward her, if you
Or
will.
like responsible. Like
Yeah.
when he says, who's, like when the dad's like, who's responsible for this one? He's like, I am, you know? So, like,
Yeah.
very, very protective.
But then he gets
of
himself
her.
in a little bit of trouble saying that because then her dad thinks he's like some
He's
kind
the
of
one that did
creep.
it.
Yeah.
But I like when he shows up and ladies are like putting the wigs and he's like, looking good, ladies. And like, baby's
She's
like,
like, I'll bet.
Okay. No. But, and then, yeah, you kind of, Penny sees that, like, baby's, you know, into him at that point, asking questions and being like,
Yeah.
you're such a great dancer, you know? She's like, you don't know nothing. And just, like, runs off or whatever.
Yeah. find out about her situation. Well, no, not yet.
Well, first because there's that other late night party, and creeper guy who's like his daddy's in charge of the place. Swayze's dancing with the old lady that you find out is like,
Oh yeah,
forcing, like paying him to sleep with her basically,
yeah,
you know, and he's like, "Where's Penny at? You better get her over here, so help me." And he's like, "Hey baby, let's go for a walk." And then that's when
Yeah.
you see Robbie, I think it's Robbie, coming out of the wooded glen with his
Yeah.
sister. And he's like, "Hey, sorry I had to see that, but sometimes that's life. You gotta
Like-
see things you don't want." I'm like, "Don't
like,
fucking.
yeah.
That's
Are you
fucking
fucking
creepy.
kidding me?
Fuck you, dude." No, hey, that's just normal.
yeah,
Whatever.
that's normal. He's a total molester. It's just fine.
Yeah.
He does
Hey,
it all
but-
the time. It's
But
cool.
baby,
you know?
that's the real world because that's what I do too. Because
I'm like,
hey,
what
we're
the
men.
hell?
Yeah, like that was ridiculous.
fuck?
And like her just trying to get away, like, "Oh, I think my parents really want me." Like, no,
Yeah, my
because
parents
you're
are looking
with
for
me.
me.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
catch
no.
you to town.
Yeah, it's all good. Everybody wants to be with us. Everyone wants a piece of this.
Hey, oh. And then like he's like, oh, then they go to like the kitchen. He's like, "You want something to eat? You can have whatever you want. We got apple juice. We got Sunny D or whatever." And that's when
Oh yeah,
baby
she's
sees
crying
Penny,
in the...
and she's like in the dark, like crying,
Yeah.
and I like how instead of him seeing her, he's like, "Hey, you know what?" She like distracts him and is like, "Let's go do something
Yeah.
else," which was really cool.
Well, he would have been a tool about it.
Yeah, like, "Oh, what are you doing on the ground?" Like, yeah,
Get out there
definitely
and dance.
they would have probably been like fired if little baby bitch boy like that saw that. So it was really good
Yeah.
that baby was instantly like cover.
Well, before we go too far, I just want to talk about one thing that he said when they were standing out there. He's like, "I love to watch your hair blowing in the breeze."
There's like no breeze.
I know, I'm
It's just like he's just like touching.
I like
it,
the look
hey.
I like the look she gives him too. Just like, all right.
Like, yeah, dude, get like all the signs of not interested, but he's just that rich, powerful. Like, oh, of course she wants me, and she's just like,
Yeah, the whole time she's just like,
and like every time
every
he touches
ti- yeah.
her, like runs his hand through his hand through her hair. She's just like,
yeah,
"Ugh,"
like
and then
she's
just not
always
getting
trying to
it.
dodge him and stuff. Like,
Hey, I'm quite a catch of the town. If you didn't know, huh? Oh,
I'm going to school to run hotels, eh?
Oh,
They were
aren't
making
you
him way more
impressed?
Italian.
Yeah, real like Jersey and stuff like that. Like that's where I'm from. Oh,
Even though
like,
his dad doesn't sound like that at all.
yeah, the kid doesn't.
Yeah, the kid
We're
hangs
just-
out in the city a lot.
We're just over exaggerating, folks. We're just making a characterization of the guy, so that
It's
way
because
you know
I
who
think
we're
it's
talking about.
I think it's because we didn't like that character.
Yeah, and not saying I don't like people like that, but that's just like the attitude he's got of like I got
And he's
the
a,
power.
and he's a,
I'm a
he's
mobster.
a fucking he's a fucking peen.
Yeah, he's just a straight
So
up peen.
like, I don't like him in the movie. He's a
I don't
dislikable
think
character.
you're not supposed to. And if you do
Yeah.
like him, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah,
oh, baby, you
seriously.
should have ended up with him. He's more stable.
I'm like, did we watch the same movie? Fuck
Yeah.
you.
So then, yeah, she comes running back to the gazebo, and she tells Johnny's cousin, and Johnny gets her, and they all run down there to like.
They
save
all like
her.
slowly tell each other.
Yeah.
around and then they all go running
And
back.
they all run back to save her, and then Johnny's cousin just like blatantly says it out loud, like, "Oh, 'cause she's knocked up," and he's like, "Shut the fuck up, dude."
Like he just says everything.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't.
Like completely trusts baby to the point of like, I'll just say whatever I want.
It's
around
cool,
him.
man.
Who
She's
cares?"
just totally pregnant. She's way
Yeah.
pregnant.
It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Yeah, carries her out. They take her.
It's cool. Yeah, she's pregnant. Okay, and then they take her where she goes. Yeah, but it's cool because if you give us like 200, if we find $200, you can get it fixed. I know a guy.
There's like this doctor that's gonna come to town next week or whatever. Or come to the city.
He's
that's
like a real
only
life
on
doctor.
Thursday.
Like he's a real life MD. You know.
Yeah, and we can take her to do an operation, but we need $250 in a certain amount of time. And like this is one of those scenes where like it shows how sheltered baby is, or like she just has that attitude. Like even like Johnny says it later, and why she's such a good person. Of like she always tries to find the good, or like is just always trying to save people and be a good person.
Well, she
She's like,
also she also credits her dad for that.
Yeah.
She's like, oh well, my dad said if someone needs fucking help them.
help him,
you know?
yeah. So
Like,
she's like, there's got to be a way to fix this, or everything's gonna be alright. Like you don't
But
know
I mean,
nothing about my problems.
it kind of pissed me off whenever fucking because I mean she goes to her dad and it kind of pissed me off because like Johnny always running to daddy. Like you go run to your dad, like with
Yeah.
that kind of fucking like I have to borrow $200, but I can't tell you what it's for.
And her dad's like, I trust you. Here you go. Here's
Yeah.
$250. Like, which is cool because I think later on he realizes how ballsy of a move that is because he even says
Well,
that.
he does it again because she catches him on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna run to my dad again? Yeah. Well, no,
And
no
he
one
was-
else is doing anything.
Yeah, but like she says that. She's like, I know I ran to my daddy. And he's like, no, that took balls what you did. I'm so glad you did run to your dad because Penny's life
She
was
would have
saved."
fucking died.
So I think he realized like the first time she did it was like, oh, that was a big deal too. You got $250 from your dad. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Like, shit, that was cool.
And it sucks that like her dad is like sees him as like the guy that like knocked him up because he goes and like tries to talk to him and shit.
Yeah, like later on, like I didn't
Yeah.
like like he like never says
And like
he
even
didn't
at this
do it
point,
either.
like he's not like still trying to get with baby. Like they're
Yeah.
like it's still not even like a thing between them. Like she
Yeah.
likes him, but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like he's super interested.
Yeah, but so baby gets the money. She offers it to him, and like, of course Johnny's like, you can't take the money. That's you can't take the money. That's not right. And she's like, I'll figure this out or whatever. And I think
Well,
she
they're
ends
like,
up
oh
taking it.
fuck that, just take it.
Yeah, take the fucking money. This is a great opportunity. Oh, you
Like-
ran to your daddy.
Yeah, I know. I'm like that's some bullshit.
She's probably going to do the operation, but they're like, we have to do this show at the hotel, at a different hotel to advertise, or else we're going to like lose our jobs next summer if we don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, there's no other partner. He's like, they're busy, she's busy, and then baby's like, I'll do it. Yeah, right. You won't be able to do it. You can't dance.
See, and like in that point too, I was kind of like, whoa, Johnny, like, what the fuck, man? Like you're just like, no, she can't get it because I need her to dance. Like,
Yeah. Well, no, like he's almost like, yeah, I guess kind of.
because that's what it sounded
too.
like, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Let her go, teach her how to fucking dance. But I mean,
Yeah.
it ended up kind of being a little bit bad in the end, anyway.
Yeah, but I think he's almost like purposely not wanting to get close to baby because he'll probably know what's gonna happen. Because he probably has like a crush on her too. He's like, if
Yeah.
I do this, I know what's gonna happen, so I'm gonna have to just nip it in the bud now. Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fall in love.
Well, I mean,
But-
yeah, he's not supposed to get involved, but
What did you always say, Johnny? Never get involved. But anyway, they end up doing it. He's gonna teach her the ropes so they can do this whole piece for the other hotel.
I mean, he really
Show.
plays instructor pretty well for a little
Yeah,
bit.
which is cool. Like, which is great because it like knowing now that he's like a professional dancer, that's probably like how he was taught, or if he actually teaches other people to dance. So he's like, I'm not acting on this spot. I'm just actually teaching her how to fucking dance. Just roll the cameras. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
This is your space. This is my space, okay? We lock the arms. Like, no spaghetti arms, no noodle arms. Fucking stay in your space. Get in
Yeah.
your fucking space, baby. Get the fuck in your space, baby. Yeah.
Baby's
So
all
it's-
about getting in his personal space.
I like that scene where like, it's like a little montage. She's not knowing how to dance, and she's got to stay on the balls of her feet. She can't put her heel down. And at first I was like, why is that? And then I realized, oh, because she's gonna be wearing heels. Because like when it shows her feet, she's like standing on her toes. Then later on, she's like wearing heels. I'm like, oh, that's why. Oh,
I see.
but I like that scene where like Penny's there too, and she's like behind her, like
Yeah.
showing her how to dance. It's like the three of them dancing. I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't know why. I was like, that's a cool
I like
scene.
I will agree with you. I liked that scene because both Johnny and Penny are very obviously like skilled dancers, and you can
Oh, yeah.
see it like in like their movements and like the
Yeah.
confidence. And whereas Baby is like very obvious, like it's a good like even if Baby then knew how to dance and
She's really good at pretending
learning,
she
yeah,
didn't. Yeah.
it was cool. It was a good scene.
Yeah, and it brought realism to it, It's like,
Yeah.
because I think the actress that played Penny was actually a professional dancer too. I'm wondering if she actually was a Rockette. Like if they put that in there of like, oh no, she actually was. Let's put it in the movie.
I
That
did
was,
like
the
her
whole
like
thing.
little thing when she's telling Baby about like before she goes and gets the abortion and stuff, like when she's telling Baby about like, oh man, my mom kicked me out when I was 16 and all I wanted to do was dance. And I thought, so you're upset that that's pretty much all you do now?
Yeah, but like I need to make a living of it. I don't make that great of a living of it, but I love to dance.
Like, but you were a rockette. What happened?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm-
and now you work
got
at
fired,
this
you got too
stupid
old
fucking
or
camp.
something, I
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean, she's still in New York, so maybe she just didn't want to.
Yeah, or maybe this is like the only gig they could find right now until they get back on their feet. Maybe they're trying to make a dance studio. Maybe they're trying to, which they don't go in that, which is fine. You don't need to, They're
Yeah,
just
whatever.
trying to be dancers. She gets upset with all this teachings, and she's like, "You're not very like this is bullshit. I don't like the way you're doing this." So he's like, "Come with me." And it's raining outside, and for some reason he's locked his keys in the car. So he's like, "Here, I'll just get this fucking pole
this
out of the
pole,
ground, and
yeah.
break my fucking window open." Like, oh.
And then just go
Okay.
speeding away. I'm like, oh, did he
Yeah.
steal that?
You're
Did
a
you really
fucking
lock your
maniac.
keys in
Yeah.
the car?
You're fucking crazy. This is great. And she's just like around corners. Like, how good
Yeah, it's
a
like
handle
heavy
does it have
ass
on the
rain and you
fucking
can't see
rain?
out of
Yeah.
cars like that in the rain.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I'm blind. I know.
But they go to the woods, and he like Mr. Miyagi trains her how to dance.
Like, that's scary on that log. They
Yeah,
could've
like balancing on the
So
log.
when they like, it's cool. I was thinking, all right, that's cool. They're learning balance, and they zoom out, and like literally, there's like a tiny creek with like all these boulders, and
dude,
like,
and like
I'm like,
sharp rocks. It's like don't
I'm like,
fall.
oh man, yeah, don't look down. That's it.
Yeah.
You'll fall off of that shit.
Yeah, that's kind of.
And like, he almost falls. Like,
Yeah, like that was a great save too. Like I'm sure he's supposed to like fall, but it almost looked like he did. But he's like so good at catching his balance. I'm like that looked like he was gonna fucking eat shit.
and also they're barefoot on a fucking log.
you get that grip with your hands, very primitive
you're
ape
yeah,
like.
you got to
know,
grip
like
with
you-
your toes.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
you can't have a flat shoe. It's almost like how tightrope walkers have like soft shoes so they can like bend
Yeah.
around the tightrope. We're monkeys, people. We got to have our feet grab things.
Yeah.
But then they do field test, training. They're in a field, and he's like, they're trying to do the lift.
And then they train in the water because it's
He's like, you
easier.
know what the best way to train is? Like in the fucking water. That's true. And I feel
And
like
they
he
have a
purposely
cute
was
scene
just
where
like
they were
dunking
just-
her.
Yeah.
Oh no! It's like-
Wee. Yeah, but that's basically just a cute scene of them
yeah,
being
it's
flirty.
to show
and-
them falling in love and being flirty, and
And
then they get to the show, and she's
she
getting
kind of
ready
has to like
backstage.
sneak in, doesn't she?
Yeah, because she tells her sister like, "Hey, cover for me. Tell him I have a headache."
Yeah.
And they sneak away because like that old couple's there, and she's like, "Oh shit, I thought we were gonna get like caught." And he's like, "Dude, me too. That was so fucking close." But she's backstage like trying to go through the number again and being like, I'm not gonna be able to do this." And then Penny's like, "I just want you to know that I don't sleep around." He's like, "Oh,
Cool.
okay. I never thought you did. I just don't want you to think of me that way." It's like I never
Like,
really
well,
did.
that's been weighing on you a lot because you just
Yeah.
had to come out and say it at
It's
a
like-
really weird time. But okay,
Yeah.
I believe
Like,
you.
I really loved him, and like I thought he cared about me. Okay, like I'm really just nervous over here about dancing. Like I never thought that. Like I established we were friends at this point. Like,
Like,
no
cool. I
judgment
gave
here,
you.
Penny.
Cool. I gave you the $200. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to try to defend yourself. I like you. I'm
Yeah.
helping you out. And I'm like, I just want you to know I don't sleep around. Okay.
Okay.
I'm like having this like moment of like, oh, I'm really nervous and happy and scared. And I'm like, I just want to let you know. It's like, oh, okay, bring me back down. All right, maybe that was your tactic.
Yeah. Think about how I'm not, sleeping with lots of people.
Yeah.
That'll help you calm down before a big dance.
Yeah, no big deal. Don't fuck it up. This is our careers on the line, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was what I really liked about this scene, which I'm gonna go off but try to remember where I'm at here. Try to remind me because I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. My sister and my mom watched the hell out of this movie, especially my sister. Like, by the way, this was a pick from my mom. Thank you, Mom. Watched this all the time, and I'd come downstairs and they'd be having. I'm like, oh god, this fucking movie. It was like this and Steel Magnolias. So I've only ever seen the same scenes of this fucking movie. It's always like the window smashing, Penny in the fucking kitchen, the end, and there was like another scene. I've only ever seen these scenes. Anyway, I would never thought I'd be like, dude, you know what I loved about this movie? So it's really nice to like have grown up, finally seen this movie of like, oh, I fucking get it. Sorry, that's the tangent.
That's okay.
This is how long I've like despised this movie, folks. I was like a fucking child. My sister, my mom would always be watching it. I was like, fuck this, I'm never gonna watch it. Here I am watching it, had a great time. Anyway, what I really enjoyed about this scene, the routine, was like she was good, but she was still kind of like messing up. So like
Yeah.
they could have easily done the, oh, she's so fucking great, she did perfect, but it was still like, no, she's good, but she's like
It was
messing up. I
choppy.
was like, that's cool. I like how it was still like, yeah, she's good, but it's still like, oh,
And didn't do the lift.
didn't do the lift. I like how she chickened out and then she did like the
Yeah.
thumb dancing, and he's like, fucking stop. But it was great because she was able to like save stuff where he's like, wrong way. When she'd like turn, he's like, just
Yeah.
follow my lead. Like
And
it
just
was
like just kind of give her like a, and then here we're going into this move.
yeah, and like it was really cool that she was able to like do that and keep up with him. So obviously
Mm-hmm.
it impressed him because he's like, no, you did really fucking great. She's like, I didn't do the lift. He's like, regardless, you did.
Like whatever. Fuck
You did really good. But I just like how
Yeah,
realistic
like there's a lot
that
of
was.
like, and there's a lot of like positivity. Like I
Yeah.
noticed it. Like there's a lot of positive. Like everybody's like always like, and it's crazy for like a dance movie because I've seen other dance movies where like, oh man, you'll never get
You
it.
suck.
You
You
suck.
both
You'll never get
suck.
it. And then they're like, oh, I'm so down about myself, you know. But then, like you said, they'll just have that like miraculous turnaround where
Yeah, I'm
all of
so
a sudden
good.
they're just like so fucking
best.
good, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not believable, but this makes it more believable because again, like you said, she's stumbling kind of through the routine. She doesn't do the lift. You
And
know?
all these dancers are just like, we, you know, dancing is for everybody.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna be positive, like, hey, yeah, you're doing a good job, or hey, yeah, you got it. So it's kind of cool to have her be like, oh man, you did fucking good, like good job tonight. So yeah, she's changing in the back seat, and of course he's all like peeking a bit.
Yeah.
I thought that old couple was gonna get, oh shit, me too. Dude.
Yeah, me
Just
too.
say,
What?
like-
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
They find what's her. They come back.
That's
and
right,
Penny
because
is-
because they did the operation, and his cousin's like, oh shit, she's not doing well, and they go in that little, you know, area that all the staff sleeps in, those like weird like KOA cabins, or all these like small
Yeah.
like, and they see her, and that's when Baby just like fucking runs off.
She's
and
like, it's
immediately
cool. I'll
gets
get
her
my dad. I'm gonna go get my dad.
And what's
I'm like,
like,
holy shit, dude.
yeah, but he's
Like
a
the-
doctor, and they take the oath. They gotta do it. He just wants to save people's lives.
And like a badass, he goes down there, no questions asked.
He sees like, okay, I know what happened. I'm a doctor. Who the fuck's responsible for this woman? Swayze's like me. So instantly the dad's like, this is your fault. This is your baby. You made her go do this. Which,
Fuck
no,
you.
he did. Dad
Which is
takes
it
care
is
of
pretty
business.
shitty, and I probably would have thought the same thing.
Yeah,
you
if
know,
I was
especially
that
if
dad,
I'm like,
I'd be like,
I'm the one responsible, and I'm like,
You
and you just let
fucking
this, yeah,
asshole.
fuck you, dude. Like, all right, well, I'm gonna fix this, but leave me
Yeah.
alone.
So he does. He does a great job. And like, you know, Johnny goes to like shake his hand and go, thank you, dude. And he just like fucking turns the other way,
Yeah.
grabs Baby and leaves. And then has that moment of like, oh, this is what that money was for. You fucking did this shit. Like, this was irresponsible. I'm not going to tell your mother though.
Yeah,
You're not
but
the woman I
but
thought you were.
like, and I like at that moment, I felt really bad for her dad, like, because
Yeah.
he just seemed so crushed by that. Like,
because
I
yeah,
was
it's like
man,
his version of his daughter in his mind is no longer that
yeah.
baby, the baby.
Yeah.
You know, of just like, oh, my daughter's grown up, and she just fucked up royally, which she didn't really. She was just
no,
trying to
not
help.
really. She didn't
So-
even do anything.
Yeah, all she did was give him money, which like you funded money for that operation.
It doesn't
But-
seem like he's upset about the operation. It's more the fact that like she lied
She
to him.
lied
What
to him,
sounds
yeah.
like abortion at the time in this area was illegal.
Oh, I think yeah,
So-
for the longest time that shit's illegal. So like,
So, you know, so because he goes, is this the first time illegal? He's like, I don't know why I asked you that.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yep, sorry. Of course I trust you. But then the next morning, very awkward lunch or breakfast where the mom and the sister are eating fucking grapefruit. And meanwhile, Baby and her dad are like full breakfast. That's why it's like
Yeah.
cool. Like you can tell the difference between Baby and her sister. Her sister's like, I'll eat a grapefruit. She's like, fuck it, I'm eating a breakfast.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like that awkward moment between her dad and everybody. And it's like, oh, we're going to do a talent show. And he's like, no, we're leaving. We got to beat traffic. And then everyone's like, but Dad, I want to sing. And oh, we should stay. And he's like, okay,
Cool.
fine. I guess
Fine.
we'll stay.
Like he's he's a good dude. Like,
He's a
and
good
it's a
dude, yeah.
bummer. Like, but still, he doesn't know that Johnny's not
Yeah.
responsible for this at the
So
time.
like I get his situation and his feelings, especially seeing his daughter like hang around this guy of like, no, not
Yeah.
happening. So he's
Yeah.
just a dad. He's a very protective dad.
Well, I can't really give him shit for that because
Yeah.
if I was in his situation, I would probably be the same thing. Like, you stay the fuck away from my daughter, you fucking creep. Like, you're just gonna get her knocked up and then take her to the back alley abortion guy.
Yeah.
No.
Meanwhile, you're out gallivanting and doing stuff, and this
Yeah,
poor woman's
dancing
like
around, like,
almost dying in
literally,
this
like,
fucking
fucking-
room, you know,
yeah.
and like fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
So there's like this part in the background when they're talking about the talent show or whatever. He's like, and like Wayne Knight's like, you could win a goat or something.
Yeah.
And then that reminds me earlier when Baby was helping out with that magic show and they just give her that chicken as a prize and she like walks off. I'm like, why are they just giving like farm animals away as prizes? Like, am I supposed to take these home? Like, oh
Yeah,
great,
like,
let's
what do
take
you
this
do-
chicken and this goat home if we win a
You
goat.
never see the chicken again. I just assumed she let it loose as soon as
Yeah.
she got outside.
Or
But
they,
also,
like,
it was
grab it
kind of
from her
creepy.
backstage.
Like, now that I'm thinking about that scene when they cut her in half, and like that guy looks at her and he's like, "Was it good for you?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
Yeah, dude. Why is this place full of creepy old rich men? Oh wait, because that's exactly what creepy old rich men would do.
Yeah.
Have they slept together at this point? Yeah, I think they've slept together at this point. Because yeah,
Oh no.
it was after that night, after she has that argument with her dad.
Yeah.
She
Then
goes
she
back to
sneaks-
Johnny's,
Yeah.
and then they
then
you
they
know,
dance.
They dance, and then they end up sleeping together because
Yeah.
they find out they really like each other. Because then the next morning, Baby goes to check on Penny, which was cool.
Oh yeah, and
And then Johnny comes in, and like Penny instantly was like, "Oh, you guys banged. I can tell the way you guys are acting around each other." It's like, I'm not dumb.
she leaves. Is this before that one lady sees him coming out of there because she wanted to hang out with him?
Yeah,
Or is it after? Because I know, like, because then
I
he
think
gets
it's after-
blamed
yeah,
for
no.
stealing.
yeah. No, it's after that.
Okay.
So this
Right.
is this is before that moment where that lady sees him. But yeah, Penny's like, "You told me never get involved. What are you doing?" He's like, "No, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing." So they leave, and he's like, "Oh no, we can't be doing this." And she's like, "Come on, dude. Yeah, we can." He's like, "All right." But then that rich butthole Robbie shows up and was like, I don't know, coming to check on her, and he goes, "Oh, so this is what's going on. You're banging this guy's daughter," and then just beats the shit
Yeah.
out of him. And I love that part where he's like, "Hit me. Fucking hit me." And then he like hits one
He does,
hit,
and then he
he's
just
like,
beats the shit out of him.
and it reminds me of that scene in Roadhouse where he's like got that dude and he's about to like rip his throat out, and then he does the, "No, you're not worth it." It's like that same thing where he's got
Yeah.
his fist up and he goes, "You're not fucking worth it, dude. Get out of here."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then we forgot that whole part where like, her sister and her in the room, and she's like, "I think I'm gonna go all the way with Robbie," and she's like, "No,
Oh, yeah.
you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Be with somebody that you love,
And she's
like,
like,
you
"Oh,
shouldn't
you're
do
stupid
that."
and silly." And she's like, "Okay."
And she's like, trying to protect her sister from this creepoid, but she can't really like say why. That's also
Yeah.
hard too. But like, they're setting up for the talent show. Her sister's singing that weird like, "I'm lucky, get out of the way." Which- that's another. Okay, that's the other scene I've always seen. Because I was like, this is fucking annoying. What is this? When I was a kid, I'd
Yeah.
always walk around and she's doing that fucking like, her thing.
Yeah.
And this is when that old lady, that rich old lady, her husband's there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I've got a plan how we can like sleep together tonight."
Yeah. He's gonna be
the
here all night.
The creepiest thing is when he goes over there and the guy's like, "Hey, here's a bunch of money. Give my wife some dancing lessons." Almost
Like
he just
extra
fucking
long. He's
knows.
like, "Yeah, just bang my wife.
'Cause I'm gonna
here.
be here all night. Yeah, exactly. It's
Just take care of
basically
her so she's not bothering me, hanging over my
Yeah.
shoulder while I'm trying to play cards with these guys." Like, dude, weird.
And like the man that he is changing into because of Baby, he goes, "No." He
does
rejects
it,
the
and
money.
she's like, "Oh," because
Yeah,
he sees
exactly.
because he sees her. She sees him talking to her, and she's like, and it's great because he looks over and she's like, just like painting at this thing.
And it's cool because yeah, they have that moment where he's telling her, he's like, I'm being used. She's
Yeah.
like, "I get it, you're using this woman." He's like, "No, they're using me."
Yeah.
He's like, "And I don't want to be like this because like you're showing me like, hey, you can be a good person. You actually
Yeah.
believe in me." So I like that moment where he's like, "No, I'm pretty booked up, dude. Here, have your money back." And I was like, "Ooh."
I like how he's like, "All right, cool," just takes it back.
Yeah. And then that's when Baby is spending more time with him, and she leaves the cabin or Johnny's place. Oh, that's because her sister was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go all the way with Robbie.
Yeah.
And she goes to his place, and he's
Oh,
sleeping with that old lady,
yeah.
that older lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's when she comes out, she also sees Baby leave Johnny's place. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, now I'm
Oh.
going to get you fucking fired, dude.
Yeah, like that's like what a like petty like lame shit to do. Like
you don't want
just
to
you
sleep
got
with
what
me?
that other
I'll get
like
you out of here. But if you had to choose
between those two. Oh my
Johnny
god.
and this fucking dope of a dude,
I mean, who do you
gotta
think
choose
I'd
Johnny.
pick? I'm picking
Yeah.
Johnny.
so when you
With that
can't have
dancer's
Johnny,
body, whoo, whoo.
that fucking chiseled face, god damn.
I mean, he was in Roadhouse too. Come on, are you
He
kidding
was
me?
in fucking Red Dawn,
Right?
Which is him and Jennifer Grey were also in that. That's where like they met because everyone's so fucking young in Red Dawn. If you think about it. Like Charlie's young, you got Leah Thompson's all fucking young, Harry Dean Stanton's younger. He's just always been an old man, but like yeah, everyone's so baby faced in Red Dawn. Wolverines. Next morning, they're all having lunch, and hotel owner and his son are eating breakfast with Baby's family, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna run this place, blah blah blah." And he's like, "But hey, these people's wallets got stolen last night," and everyone's saying Johnny was in the area, and he doesn't have a good alibi because all he said is he was in his room all night. Yeah, right. Like we were gonna believe that.
Why? Like, and my question to that was like, well, why wouldn't he be in his room all night? Why
Yeah.
is that a weird question? Like,
Well,
what else the
because
fuck would he do?
no one can corroborate with this, so it was obvious that he stole these people's money, and he's just saying. It's just like they were looking to get rid of him. Because even earlier on, Baby and him are dancing, and they have that moment where they're like lip syncing to that song, baby, whoa.
Oh, I love that.
And Lover Boy, and
I love it when he's
That
like
guy.
they're dancing and he comes in, they like split up really
Yeah,
quick, and
yeah,
then
so
like
that
that
guy
guy
comes
starts
in.
dancing, and I love how he does the record scratch. The
yeah,
He's
don't
just
dance, dude. I'll
Yeah,
teach you
just-
some moves. It's like no,
no, you won't. Like, have you seen?
Yeah.
Johnny,
Dude, look
no.
over there. Look at this fucking guy. You
Look at
really
this
think,
chiseled, like
you
marble
really think you got a
statue.
chance? Are you a fucking dummy just because you think you're rich? Because you're rich? You really think you have a chance against that, dude?
Oh my god!
Wake up, brother.
Not this.
But
time.
that's when I forgot that scene is when he's like, hey, tomorrow nights or whatever is the big night of like, we were thinking of switching it up. You're going to dance the like, whatever. That was some weird fucking name.
Yeah,
He's
and
like,
he's like,
well, at first Johnny's like, oh, I've got this really good idea. We've been practicing this thing. I can just like, no, you're not doing that. You're dancing this instead of the mambo
like,
or whatever.
but
Either
I
you
always
do
the
it-
last one.
Or you're going to fucking leave. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Let's do it that way.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Wow, you're
Mm-hmm.
so cool.
So yeah, there was that whole moment too of like, yeah, I fucking own you. So definitely that guy's just like trying to get rid of Johnny, obviously.
he's
He's
like,
like, oh, you
God,
don't want to play
he's
by
such
the
a dick.
rules. He's a little jealous, very jealous. Because I'm the pick of the town, not you, Johnny.
Yeah, but we all know that's not true.
No.
We knew it as soon as you said it. We knew it before
Yeah.
you said it.
When I took one look at your face and you're like, yeah, you're not the pick of the town.
No, you're not the pick of anybody.
Yeah. No thanks, dude. Keep dreaming.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, so that morning, they're accusing Johnny of doing it, and Baby's like, no, I know he didn't do it. They're like, how do you know? She's like,
I just know.
I just know. I can't tell you why I know he's been there.
Doesn't
and
she
then
go
she-
to her dad?
Well, she finally says that in front of everybody. She's like, I know he wasn't there because I was with Johnny all night. Her dad's like, oh. And then just fucking leaves, and he's just out there.
Oh yeah,
pouting.
and he's like, well, yeah, he's like all bummed out about it. Like,
And then she goes out there, and she's like, I know I disappointed you, but you disappointed me too. And I was like, ooh, ouch.
oh, ouch, right in the heart.
Damn, girl. Damn, you got him. And that was a really cool scene, too. Of like, that guy was a really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
For the fact that, like, Baby's telling this, she starts crying, and then, like, he starts crying, too. When he realizes, I was like, oh, man, this guy's fucking good. Oh, man, this scene's hitting me, man. Once again, 8-year-old me would be pissed off at myself, and I'm like, you've been moved by Dirty Dancing? Who the fuck are you? I don't even know who you are anymore.
You were
We turn into
moved.
this? What the fuck, man? You're a disappointment.
Yeah, man. Come on, go put on Last Action Hero and stop crying.
Yeah, stop being a little bitch. Watch Last Action Hero and Terminator 2. What the hell's wrong with you?
Don't
dude?
worry, we still watch those. We love them.
Those are great movies, but Dirty Dancing's also a great movie.
It's a
too.
good movie, yeah.
So yeah, her dad's upset. She, says what's going on. But then, so Johnny's name gets cleared, but they still fire him anyway,
Yeah, like,
which is because once again they were just looking for a reason.
well, no,
Like,
I
they
didn't think
just-
he had
or
been fired.
just
I thought he
quit.
had just kind of gone off because he was pissed because they kept
He's like, yeah.
accusing him of stealing.
And
He's
yeah,
like, it wasn't
he's
fucking
like,
me, and then he left.
yeah, and he's like, thank you for clearing my name. He's like, but I'm fucking out of here. This is dumb.
Yeah.
And before he leaves, he goes to try to talk to her dad and be like, hey, I just want to tell you, like, baby is really cool. She's like always positive, always trying to help people. She's made me want to be a better person. He's like, get the fuck out of here. I know what you did to that lady. And still, like, he's not standing up for himself. He's not saying, like, no, that wasn't me, because he's like, all right, that's how you want to feel about me, dude. Fuck it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So he ends up leaving, and that song that Patrick Swayze sung, She's Like the Wind, is playing. She's like the wind. And then it's the talent show, right?
Yeah.
And, they're all singing this weird song.
It's like at the end, and they're
Yeah, and then in the shadows, the owner and the tap dancing guy are like, "This is it," because people don't want teenagers
and
don't
then-
want to come dance with their parents
and
anymore.
that's like there's that too. There's like that.
Yeah,
So he's like this guy knows, like, yeah, this is like on the way out. People aren't gonna want to keep doing.
yeah,
this
we're
anymore.
dinosaurs, dude. Like nobody wants to do this. We gotta nobody's gonna want to come here anymore because this is
like-
fucking lame.
Yeah,
This
pretty
ain't
much.
the '40s anymore, dude. Like shit.
Like, and I thought it was kind of cool, like, to see an older person accept that something is just not going to be the demographic anymore
yeah, to accept
is
like, well,
cool. Like,
we're done.
graciously, like, accept it, and not be
Yeah.
like freaking out, like, this is the way it's supposed to be.
these
like
fucking kids.
like the old people now do.
Yeah.
I don't want things to change. I'm like, well,
Well, too bad.
like, you know how much shit has changed in my life since
Yeah.
I've been a kid? Like, you don't really get to pick. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Why
But yeah,
sit
that was
around bitching about it?
that was a cool scene. Then he comes out, and like does his little part of the song, as a goodbye.
Yeah.
And then Swayze busts in,
He always busts in.
and this line doesn't make sense to me. I've always known this line. It still doesn't make sense to me. But he comes up, and he's like, "Nobody puts baby in a corner," and then he takes her out. I'm like, "But what's that mean?"
Yeah. Well, she's literally sitting in the corner.
Yeah, I know, but like
But not like the corner of the room, just in a corner.
in a corner. But like,
Yeah.
are you talking metaphorically or physically? Because right now it's
Well,
both.
both.
So it's like, does nobody put her in the corner because she belongs out and she's supposed to be free?
But see, and that kind of didn't make sense to me either, because there's not anything ever really established of like her always
Yeah.
being like kind of in the back and not being
So,
paid
like,
attention to, because
yeah,
she seems
so,
like
like-
she's pretty like
For like, her
high up
father is.
there as far as
Yeah.
her dad's concerned,
So like it's like I know like he's probably like you're not supposed to like protect her and shelter her anymore, but like having watched this movie fully, I was like, okay, this line makes even less sense now.
Yeah.
Because before you always know and you're like, oh, okay, it's probably established earlier on in the movie. No, it's not.
Yeah. No.
But hey, it's a memorable line, whatever. So they put on a song that was not written in the 60s, like
Yeah.
that's not a song that existed back then. So it's like, how do we get this song from the future?
Well, he's a time traveler, and
He's
that's
like,
where
I
he
got
went.
this
He's
record
like,
from the 80s. It's called
like,
Time of My Life. It's
and
written.
I'm bringing it back here, and I'm gonna save the day with a sweet dance.
That's where he went. He left. And
Yeah, he went. He time traveled.
Yep, and he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna bring back this dope song, and I know all the words too,
Yeah.
because I'm from the future or whatever.
Well, he learned them really quick. He had
Yeah.
all the time, because that time had already passed
Yeah.
technically where he was, so he had plenty
For
of
him,
time.
for us, it was like a minute or so that he was gone. For
Yeah.
him, it was months.
Yeah,
just
because he
learning
had to learn the song and
Yeah.
choreograph
Make a
a
routine
dance.
of it,
Yeah.
which apparently everybody else knew too when they all started dancing, because they're all
Yeah.
such great dancers. They can just follow Johnny's lead.
Well,
they're
he's that
dancing.
good of an instructor. Mm-hmm. You learn
So-
through osmosis when you're
it's
dancing with
like
Johnny.
when you're around him, you're like, oh, all of a sudden I know how to dance. He's just so good. Oh, I can dance too.
I'm dancing.
Oh, I'm like choreography dancing with him. Wow,
I can't stop.
I can't stop. He's like a puppet master.
Yeah.
He's the Pied Piper
Yeah.
of
He's
dancing.
so like yeah, this movie's actually about a sorcerer who can control people through the power
Through
of
dance.
Yeah.
And who can also time travel because he has music from the future.
Yeah.
Dirty Dancing.
But you
just
only
got
you only
crazier.
learn that in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wait, he was a time traveler the whole time? Oh,
Yep.
shit.
I know, it's the twist. It's an M.
So-
Night Shyamalan style
Yeah.
twist.
Whoa. What a twist. So they're dancing to that. You
Well,
know,
he
the
pulls
dad,
her. He pulls her up on baby up on stage. They do their dance, and then
I like how, like,
he has
first the
to
dad
solo
gets
it.
up. First
yeah,
the dad
'cause-
gets up, and the mom's like, no, fucking sit down. She's doing great. Don't interrupt this. But
Yeah.
then, yeah, Swayze jumps off, does that cool slow-mo jump off the stage. Lands, does some cool spins on his knees, and is, like, doing the dance in front of everybody. Like, hey, this is cool. I'm going out with a fucking bang. Just doing this one the whole time. Like, fuck you all.
right.
And then everybody
get up
else
and dance,
starts joining
assholes.
in. Yeah. And then like his people start joining in because they're like, "Fuck it, if you're leaving, we're leaving too."
Yeah.
And then that's when they do the lift. He's like, "Come on, we got this." She
Yeah,
jumps
hop off the
and then
stage.
Boom. Which
Yeah.
like credit to both of them, because not only is he strong enough to hold her up for that long, she's got to be strong enough to just keep her body straight
Yeah.
without wiggling. So like,
But also,
that's-
you know, and that's balance too. So I
Yeah.
mean, because he's holding her like what, like right by,
The
like right on
waist.
her, like yeah, right on her waist. So I'm just like
Yeah.
imagining how you would have to like you'd have to lean
Balance
so
that.
far forward. No wonder it's like scary to do that.
Yeah, and like just for her to be able to like be strong enough to keep her legs, bodies, and arms just like straight. So I was like, that's talent.
Thankfully, the internet didn't exist back then, because if they would have seen all the times like people get dropped, they wouldn't
Oh
have
man,
done
they're
it.
like, I'm not doing this move.
Baby would have been like,
Yeah.
"Fuck that."
Yeah, so she finally does it. The dad's like, man, you're looking good out there. You're in your element. I'm glad you're happy. Young kids start dancing too.
The old
And
people
then-
start dancing as well.
And then the guy's like, hey, do you got like, he's like, oh, at the
Sheet
music.
music
when he,
to this?
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
you got sheet music to this? Because like now he's got the idea of like, oh, now I know how to keep this place young and hip. I'm going to get with the times. That way people still keep coming out here. We're going to advertise dirty dancing, you
Yeah.
know? That's what we do now. We dirty dance.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh.
how long is that gonna hang?
This happened too before Swayze came in. The dad gets up, goes to talk to Robbie. Is about to give him
Oh,
money.
yeah, that's
like,
right.
Hey, congratulations on going to middle school.
That letter of recommendation from a
Yeah,
doctor.
he's like, hey, congratulations on going to medical school or whatever. He's like, oh, cool. Hey, thanks for taking care of Penny, like, and everything, you know.
He's like,
that
"What the hell are you
situation."
talking about?"
Oh, baby didn't tell you? Like, that was me. That was my fault, you know, kind of a thing. And then he's like,
I knocked
yoink.
her up.
Yeah. And I like that. He's just like, nope, yoink. And now
Yeah.
he, like, thinks different of Swayze of, like, oh.
You're like, "Oh
Fuck.
man, now I fucked up." Ish.
Yeah, like, he's not, I mean, he's, you know, probably still a bad guy, but not that bad of a guy.
Yeah.
And then now that's really cool. I realized that my daughter wasn't just narking on some dude, too. She's like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, damn it. I learned something, too. Shit.
Why am I learning a lesson? This is
Fuck,
stupid.
man.
Like,
Oh, damn it. Yeah, so then they do the cool dance. The dad comes up to Baby and Johnny, and he's like, hey, you were good out there. I'm glad. And then he's like, hey, I know about Penny and Robbie. I know it wasn't you. He's like, I'm sorry about it. And he's like, hey, your daughter made me want to be a better person. Oh, yeah, he says that on the stage, too.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, you know, I want to talk about somebody that, like, changed me and supported me and showed me that, like, I can be a different person, and this isn't
Yeah,
the
like
life for me.
shit doesn't have to suck. Cause like he talks about like how, you know, when I'm not here, fucking it sucks ass. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, like I don't know, I can't make money very well, you know. And like he's kind of
Yeah.
a, like, I don't want to say a bum, but he has a hard time when he's not
Yeah.
like at the camp dancing.
And so it's like he feels like, I mean, like that's his only source of income. So he's like, yeah, I have to let people abuse me and use me because like I fucking need the money and I want to
Yeah.
dance and this is the only way I can do it, you know?
No.
But now he's like, fuck that. I can do what I want because this lady is supporting me. She's
Yeah.
showing me that like, oh, you can do things you want. You could be a good person.
Yeah.
All you need is good people around you.
Like it's cool because it's just like shit can suck, but it doesn't have to suck.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's okay to ask for help,
Yeah.
especially from rich dads.
Like there's decent lessons coming out of this movie.
Yeah,
you
which
know,
is
for
weird.
for a
Like,
movie called Dirty Dancing,
it's really good at, like, teaching you a
there's a lot of
lesson. And
positivity. There's a lot of don't judge a book by its cover sort of stuff. There's a lot of you know you need help. Ask for it.
yeah,
Fucking
you're a good, you can do
you
whatever you
can
want to
be a
do
good
in
person
life.
if shit sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, help people out, which is just so weird because the glances I saw of this movie when I was younger, all I saw was a romance movie that had too much drama in it, and like that scene where he busts the window. I always thought that was like so much more of a dramatic scene, and all it was like, oh, should I lock my keys in the car? Boom, let's
Yeah.
go. Like that's all it was. Like in my head, I was like, oh fuck this, and like breaks it. I didn't know what was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
So it's cool and refreshing to find out. Yeah, it's a romance, but it's not like such a fucking heavy romance. It was just like a coming of age story and people learning about themselves. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what this movie's about, you know? I mean, obviously it's about sexy Swayze and dancing and stuff. Like that's a
Well,
little bit of a
you
treat
know,
too.
yeah.
But in the end, it's just like a good drama movie about
Yeah.
stuff. I was like,
And
oh,
I
I
definitely
have
appreciated
misjudged
it.
this movie the entire time.
Yes.
So, hey, like Patrick Swayze, I have learned a lesson. I have grown up as a person. It's things could be different.
And I
Thanks,
think
Dirty Dancing.
we've talked about like this in Two Guys One Film
Yeah,
before, that through this we've become a lot less cynical about movies
Yeah.
and learned to take them a little bit less seriously,
yeah,
or
open-minded
if like
and
not
going
seriously
like,
at
oh, shit.
all, and realize that a movie is meant to let you escape into something else. And
Be
basically
entertained.
at that point, if you're not entertained, is where you should feel upset.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
We're
like,
oh,
oh,
this
this
was a
isn't
waste of
like
time.
accurate, and how are they doing this, and why are they doing that? It's a movie.
Oh, this is so lame. This is about romance and stuff that doesn't exist in the real world. What's romance? Bleh.
Bleh.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, just like Patrick Swayze has taught us to love and dance again, there is a place that can teach you that you can be your nerdy self and get all the nerdy content you want. Dane, where do they go?
You're going to head on over to projectnerd.com. That's project-nerd.com. Don't forget the hyphen. You won't make it. And you're going to want to, because you're going to find some really cool stuff there. Cosplay, unboxing, Two Guys, One Film, comedy stuff, movie stuff. You're missing out because you're not there right now.
You name it, they got it. All the nerdy stuff you can desire, where you can be yourself. Hey, maybe they'll be dancing on there someday. There will be now.
Yeah.
We're starting it up. So go on to check it out, project-nerd.com. Okay. Big surprise. I was very surprised during this movie. I've grown up. I feel better as an adult. I'm like, hey, you know what? I can enjoy things. Sorry, 8-year-old Dylan. I really enjoyed this movie. Fuck you, little kid. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, big surprise. I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was fun. It was a good drama. Cool dancing. Love Patrick Swayze. Once again, I can't say fucking surprised. I'm gonna give it fucking 9 sweaty Swayzes. Honestly, it's a fun movie. It's a good movie. It's, I don't know, lessons are learned. It's entertaining. Good acting. I don't know. That's it. Sorry, 8-year-old me. It's a good movie.
Right? I mean, the younger version of me would be like, dude, why?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, well, because it's pretty good. Like, if you really sit down and watch it, like, there's a lot of, like, lessons and shit. And they're like, why are you trying to learn a lesson?
What are you, old man? Fuck's wrong with
Yeah.
you?
Yes, I am.
Movies are about blowing shit up.
I know. I'm sorry, but I enjoyed it. It's a good drama. The acting is nice. The dancing is nice. There are lessons learned, and it's not like a shove down your throat kind of lessons either. It's played out nicely. The script is nice. Like, everything flows really nice in this movie. Like, it's not over the top, like, needing to be explained. There's nothing in it that you feel like... I mean, there's some stuff that if you really wanted to know, I guess you could be like, well, I'd like to know more about that. But it's nothing that, like, ties to the movie that makes it change or different or feel different or
Yeah.
feel like the outcome is supposed to be different. So, I'll rate this. I'm going to give it a 9 sweaty Swayzes as well. It's a good movie. Yeah, it's just a good movie.
Yeah. It's a great movie. It's weird. I'm sorry. It's like it's hard for me to process me saying these words out loud. But I'm happy I'm finally came to watching this movie. Thank you, Mom, for making me watch this movie.
Not a guilty pleasure.
Not a guilty pleasure.
And it
Enjoy
shouldn't be. If like you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
Yeah. Don't be like the 8-year-old versions of ourselves. Good. That movie's fucking lame. Watch it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But I enjoyed it. It was a great movie. For Two Guys, One Film, I have grown up. I am Dylan.
And I'm Dane, kind of grown up. I'll get there
Maybe.
someday.
We'll get there. Yeah. He's a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Baby. Whoa, whoa.